Welcome back, everybody. Now for the next 2-pack movie review. This one, there's this movie, and then there's the next movie. They're not exactly what I would call quote-unquote sequels, really, although according to Cassandra Peterson, they sorta kinda are. Okay, but in my book, they're not. I mean, it's like there's this movie, and then there's the other movie, which is an entirely separate story from this movie. And in case you don't know who Cassandra Peterson is, she's a very beautiful redheaded lady. Okay? You wouldn't know that in this movie, though. I mean, if you want to know what Cassandra Peterson looks like without her wig on, go watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure. She's one of the biker women. Okay, I had to tell my husband that. He's like, no, that's not her. I said, yeah, it is. Look at the credits if you don't believe me. But this movie is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Elvira, of course, you know, this movie was released back in 1987. And Cassandra Peterson actually is Elvira. But this, oh my god, of course, you know, Elvira, this is a very, I mean, this is almost, not, it is kind of a horror flick, but it's kind of not, if you know what I mean. Elvira, Elvira is the character, and I gotta tell this story here, and I also gotta bring up Ed Wood, because I didn't mention this when I reviewed Ed Wood, and now would be a good time to name this fact. Now, I don't know if you guys remember Vampira, who, the lady that played Vampira, I forget her name, died last year in 2009 of old age. But the lady that played Vampira, she was involved with Ed Wood in one of his flops. It was Plan 9 from Outer Space. And Vampira actually sued Elvira for stealing Vampira's act. Which, I mean, it wasn't, if you know anything about Elvira, what it is that was just something made up by, you know, TV producers and everything, and Vampira had nothing to do with it, and neither did Elvira. It was just, you know, but Elvira run the case, just because that, and, you know, Elvira's, you know, dressed real slinky and everything. This movie, one of the funniest things in the whole world is, like, you know, she's, like, Elvira's great aunt Morgana dies and leaves Elvira some money and, you know, well, a house, a dog, and a book. You know, in Fallwell, Massachusetts. So, you know, Elvira's got to get from California to Massachusetts and get the dog, the book, and the house. And oh my god, this movie is funny. It's also got W. Morgan Shepherd, Daniel Green, Jeff Conaway, Susan Kellerman, and Edie McClurg. In this movie, the lady that, I think it's Edie McClurg, she's in one of the TV shows from back in the 80s. She is so corny. One of them plays Chastity Pariah. And she's like the mayor of Fallwell, Massachusetts, who is a busybody nosy butt. And he's just way to describe it. And, you know, there's a character named Vincent, who is, I think, if I remember correctly, played by W. Morgan Shepherd. Oh my god. It's just, this movie, I don't even know what to begin to tell you other than it's just, I mean, you can watch it with your, like, older kids. This is rated PG-13. I would kind of watch it with, you know, your 14 and 15-year-olds. Be careful of your boys, because they might, you know, start staring at the TV and drooling. You know, because they might be hitting puberty for obvious reasons. But yeah, it's just, you know, the whole thing about Chastity Pariah, and there's one of the funniest scenes that I think is in the movie. It's not the part where it's, you know, the monster comes out of the pot. It's what happens after that with, like the casserole that makes everybody horny. That part is funny. And it's just how stupid everybody acts, because it's like it loosens up the whole town, and you know, because they're all like, when you know Elvira gets there, they're, you know, just completely like ultra conservative, prude type things, and Chastity Pariah is like the ringleader of it all, and you know, is a prude, and you know, it's just, you know, like Elvira shows up and the people are like, you know, like Chastity Pariah goes, you know, you barely fit into that dress, and you know, Elvira's like, look, sister, if I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. And it's just, oh my god, it's crass. The movie is crass. It's funny. One of the funniest scenes, another funny scene, is where Elvira loses her balance as she's helping, or she tells Bob, the guy interest between Elvira and Patty, who owns the bowling alley. You know, you spelled matinee wrong. It's not supposed to have 2 E's but 1. And Bob's like, no, it's supposed to have 2 E's in it. And what ends up happening is Bob's changing the thing to how to make calls like a duck. And Elvira, you know, loses her balance with the second E and puts it right where the D was in front of duck. You can use your imagination as to what that looked like to Chastity Pariah across the street. I'm not going to elaborate. But anyway, I do recommend watching this movie. The ending, I tell you what, will make you laugh your butt off. I mean, because it is just, I mean, by the end of the movie, you are just cracking up laughing, because it's funny. It's kind of like a scary comedy. I would watch this movie and the previous two and the next one on or around Halloween. I would also watch, you know, maybe the last movie I'm going to review here around Halloween, but you know, you don't have to. But these last 4 movies, counting this one, you definitely want to watch around Halloween. Now hang on, I'm going to pause and get the other Elvira movie out, and I'm going to talk about it, okay? Hang on.